Welcome back to Recharge. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Cooking with Mandy. I'm Mandy, and today we're making gazpacho. Yes, gazpacho is a delicious cold soup made usually from tomatoes. This week in our CSA share, we received a ton of beautiful looking tomatoes, so thought why not make a gazpacho? So you'll see here, these are plum tomatoes, but you can use pretty much any kind of tomato for this. Also in our CSA share, we received some bell peppers, some onion, jalapeno. All of those things work really well in gazpacho. So to prepare gazpacho, you can't just throw in all the veggies completely raw. While most of them are completely raw, the tomatoes, you have to peel them. In order to do that, you'll want to take a small knife and score either the top or the bottom, just scoring through the skin and making an X. The reason you do this is because you're going to steam or boil the tomatoes for about 2 to 3 minutes, and the skins will start to pull away from the flesh beneath. And then you'll take them out of the water, you'll allow them to cool, and that way you can peel the skins off the tomatoes very easily. The reason why we don't want skins in the gazpacho is because it tends to give it an unpleasant texture, especially if you're going to puree it. And also sometimes the skins tend to be a little bit bitter. So we definitely don't want that in our gazpacho. Already in my bowl here, I steamed my tomatoes, I peeled them, and I also de-seeded them. We don't want a lot of seeds in our gazpacho. So if you can remove as many seeds as possible, that's the best. So I diced those up really small. And then I also tossed in here some diced onion, some bell pepper, a little bit of jalapeno. I have celery, and a lot of times gazpacho will call for cucumber, but since we got zucchini in our CSA share this week, that's going to work in here in place of our cucumber. And the liquid portion of the soup comes from tomato juice or some kind of vegetable juice. I like to use V8. I also like to use the low sodium version so that I can control the amount of salt that goes into my gazpacho. So I'm going to shake it up, and then I'm going to pour it in. One container is about 8 cups, so we'll start off with about half. Place my lid on so we don't spill it. And I'm going to stir it up with my spoon here. And it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to add a little more liquid. So yes, you'll notice this is going to make a large batch, but it keeps really well. It's great for a summer potluck or barbecue. Well, we'll just use the whole thing, why not? Might need a bigger bowl next time. And next comes some of our seasoning. So for something like this, I don't usually measure. I'll just toss it in there and go by taste. Some black pepper. And because this is a fresh, mostly raw soup, means we're not cooking it, we're going to add in some extra virgin olive oil and some red wine vinegar for a little bit of tang. You really need the richness from the olive oil to give this soup that finishing touch. So we'll start off with about 1/4 cup. And then we'll do about the same for our vinegar. And you can use apple cider vinegar or a champagne vinegar, whatever you'd like. I just like red wine vinegar, so I'm going to use that here. Balsamic vinegar would be a tad sweet in this, so I wouldn't maybe use balsamic, but other tangy vinegars would work well. And then last but not least, I'm going to finish it off with some fresh basil. Now you always want to put the fresh herbs in last so they can retain their shape and color the best. So I have about a cup of basil here. I'm just going to chop this up. And we're going to toss this right into our bowl. Now, I know you probably want to eat this right away, but gazpacho is one of those recipes that tastes better the longer it sits. So all the flavors kind of need to marry and marinate together. It's best to refrigerate this for up to 4 hours or perhaps overnight, and it's usually better the next day. And when you go to serve it, you can top it off with some freshly cubed avocado, maybe some fresh steamed corn off the cob. If you want to make it a complete meal, you can always add some grilled shrimp to the top. It makes a really nice, delicious summer meal. So here we have it, our summer gazpacho with all of our CSA veggies. Thanks for watching another episode of Cooking with Mandy. We'll see you next week.